Bulvinaka, and welcome back to Women's Sports Center. Today, we share the spotlight on a true trailblazer for Fijian boxing in Fiji.
Welcome, in the blue corner, Jasmine Daunakamakama.
She stepped into the ring not just to fight opponents, but to break barriers, from the village of Tailevu to the international stage. She became one of the Fijian first women to compete at an Olympic qualifying event, carrying the hopes of a nation with every punch. Her journey hasn't been without challenges, but her resilience, courage, and determination continue to inspire young girls across Fiji to dream big and fight for their place in sports and in life. Joining us tonight is amateur boxer and history maker Jasmine Daunakamakama. Thank you again for joining us today, Jasmine. Would you be able to just tell us a little bit about yourself before we jump straight into the questions?
Bulvinaka, my name is Jasmine Daunakamakama. I am from Bao Tailevu and Vasu Salilolonga, Samoa. I am 20 years old and I'm currently part of the national team.
Can you share a little bit about your journey and how your story began?
My first memory of boxing was when I was 7. My dad just started teaching me the basics, jab, cross, all the fun stuff. Started, and then I joined a gym when I was 13. And from there, I just loved it for the fitness. It was fun, a fun community activity. And then we moved back to Fiji. Then I started competing when I was 17. And yeah, that's when it started getting serious.
Hi, Jasmine! Let's go, Jasmine!
My inspiration is the love I have for the sport, how it allows me to discover myself in a very honest way.
And how has boxing shaped you into the athlete that you are, as well as a person outside of the sport that you play?
Boxing is a tough sport. There have been so many moments where it has shifted my perception of life. I couldn't pinpoint a specific moment, but yeah.
As you said, you've introduced their families, they're writing off their family name, now they're making a name for themselves.
4 rounds, 2 minutes each round. Daunakamakama, that straight shot.
Sweet. And what was it like stepping into Olympic qualifiers, especially when you're competing against athletes that have more fights than you?
Last year, I took part in the Olympic qualifiers, and I only had, I'd say 6 fights under my belt, and it was quite a scary experience. I mean, oh my gosh, the girls that I was going against had 50 plus fights. They'd been training, competing internationally for years. I'm very proud that I stepped into the ring with the little experience and just showcased what I had learned. It was a very good experience.
What challenges do you face as a female boxer in a men-dominated sport?
Since boxing is a male-dominated sport, women in this sport face a lot of challenges with equality. So my last competition, the World Championships, I was barred because my gender test didn't come in time, and so since it didn't come in time, we got barred, which is quite unfair because there are the male boxers who did not have this test done. So they're looking into testing the males as well, but just things like that where there are just a little bit more obstacles in our way. as female boxers.
Hi, Jasmine.
So going into competitions, you have mental challenges, but how do you prepare going into competitions mentally and physically?
Physically, I do my best to be honest with my training. I put in as many hours as I can before my tournaments. Mentally, I would do a lot of reflection because there's a lot of power in being self-aware. And that is how I can uproot any fear or doubts that I have before my fights. It's just really reflecting, getting to know myself, and yes.
Good work by Daunakamakama.
What misconceptions do people have about women athletes, and how would you want to correct that for yourself?
Well, just today I got in the taxi. I was like, "Oh, can I come to Walubay, please?" He's like, "Oh, are you going to the gym?" It's like, "Yes." He looks at me up and down. He's like, "Doesn't look like you box." I was like, "Yes, I do." So I think the misconception is because we are perceived as feminine beings, we're seen as weak and vulnerable. But I'd say because we are more, as females, we are emotional, we are more intact with our feelings, so we are able to express ourselves with a lot of passion within our sport, which makes us stronger.
Hi, Jasmine. Let's go, Jasmine. Catch.
What is it like in a day for you as a female boxer?
So usually in the mornings, every other day I go for a run, and I'd also like to start my day off with meditations, breath work, just reflecting my inner state. And then I go about my day helping out at home with the family, or if it's not at home, then I'm doing something with my band. Then we usually start training at 4:30, so I usually come around 4 o'clock, 4:30, train. We do sparring, tech work, and then for an hour and a half, and then I go back home, rest, or if I have band rehearsals, there's that too. Whatever sparks an interest, go for it. There's no shame in trying something new. You'll never know where that would take you. So just try, experience, live life.
Well, thank you so much, Jasmine. We'll be back after the break to learn a little bit more about Jasmine and her road to becoming a national rep. Welcome back to Women's Sports Center with Jasmine. You've talked a little bit about what got you into boxing. Would you be able to just share a little bit about what drew you into the contact sport? Not a lot of people can say they can do boxing, they can do rugby. We have golf players, we have swimmers. What was it that drew you into that contact sport?
Back in 2015, my grandfather had just passed, so my whole family went to Samoa for his funeral. And I had known that I've heard of stories of my uncles, my mom going to tournaments with my grandfather, to boxing tournaments, karate tournaments. They were heavily involved in combat sports. But going to Samoa and seeing a whole cabinet, a whole glass cabinet filled with trophies, medals, it was inspiring. And yeah, just a little voice inside my head was like, wow, this could be you one day. Then it was also a way for my family and I to bond over combat sports. Like, oh, did you watch this fight? Did you watch, yeah. Or my uncle showing me this new technique. It's very common to see my uncle and I wrestling in the living room as if nothing. It's like, yes, it's a crazy household.
Okay, so you're a boxer. Does it scare you when you first watched boxing, we've watched a match? Does it scare you to see people get hit? What was it like going into your first training? What helped you overcome that fear that made you push you to become the athlete that you are now?
Yeah, so I was actually homeschooled throughout my whole schooling years. So my parents were really good. They always encouraged us to try different sports because that was our way to socialize with the kids around our age. So we tried tennis, rugby, soccer, and other extracurricular activities. But yeah, I don't think I was scared. Well, actually, I did try Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. My uncle is actually a world champ black belt. So he taught me and my friends a few moves. And I have a younger sister, so I'm not as scared of getting hit because that girl, yes. we had a rough childhood between the two of us. So yeah, no man scares me. It's like, yeah.
Huh. Nice. So you mentioned a little bit about your family, that they took part in combat sports. Tell us a little bit about your family and your journey with your club and the road to becoming a national rep for Fiji.
My family and I have moved around the Pacific a lot. And so majority of my childhood was spent in Vanuatu. And then we moved to Pohnpei in Micronesia. And that's where I joined my first boxing gym. So I was training there, but they didn't have any competitions there. So I was just sparring every other month. And then we moved back to Fiji in 2021 when I was 17. And so 2017, I joined Quadra's gym, Box It Up. So yeah. And the good thing about Quadra's gym, we kept sparring every week and I saw massive improvements. Then one day he just showed up. He's like, Jasmine, you're gonna fight this week. It's like, huh? What? So and then it happened. And somehow, because there are not a lot of female boxers in the sport, I'd say it was when Coach Cam arrived, there was only a handful of females that he could pick to be in the Fiji team.
But there's more to Jasmine than boxing ring. When she's not throwing punches, she's holding a microphone. Beyond her passion for boxing, Jasmine is also a talented singer and performer. She is part of VAA and also performs in dynamic mixed bands known as Spectrum. Together, they've been lighting up stages at concerts and events, showcasing not just talent, but powerful female presence in music. And the journey doesn't stop here. Jasmine and her band are preparing to travel to Australia for an international festival, proving that her drive and discipline extend far beyond sports. Whether it's in the ring or on stage, Jasmine continues to break barriers, inspires young women, and show that you don't have to choose just one dream, you can chase all of them.
But when I'm not in the gym, I'm usually hanging out with the band VA. So I am one of the lead vocalists and the guitarist of the band. We are quite new to the music scene, and it's been quite hectic these past 2 months because we're just prepping for our Vesumona tour. So the Return of the Dragon will be our first show. Also a trip for the Fringe Festival in Adelaide, which is next year, February. So I'm just trying to schedule my time between boxing and the band.
Let's go, Jazz! Hi, Jasmine! Good one, good one!
And that was a short clip of Jasmine and her group Spectrum. Don't go anywhere, we'll be right back after the break. Naka. Welcome back to Women's Sports Center with Jasmine. And here we are now for the fun questions. What is something that you want people to know about you? Something that no one else but you know?
I'm quite an open book, I think. I'd say being an amateur boxing athlete. Everyone looks at me from first impressions like, what, you box? Especially when I have my glasses on. It's just, yeah, it just doesn't match the stereotype.
And like all athletes, what does a cheat day or cheat meal look for you? I know I like to spend it with myself, spend it with the friends. What does your cheat day look like for you?
Cheat day. What does a day look like for me? I'd have a nice sleep in, wake up, and just hang out with family, watch a movie. Yeah, just a lot of family time.
And during your boxing competition, do you have a strict diet, or are you one of those that you train hard, you eat hard?
Yes. I usually increase my protein intake and lessen my carb intake. Yeah, it's just counting the calories that I have. Yes, just managing what I eat.
Would you recommend boxing for women and young female athletes?
Yes, I would recommend boxing as a good way to improve your fitness. We actually have classes here at the gym, Bati Boxing. It's led by me and another one of the boxers from the national team, Ben Williams. The way we structure our classes, it's based off of technique, and we do a bit of S&C, so we're not overworking you to fatigue, but it's very smart programming through your fitness journey. So if you're interested.
In what age can young female athletes can take part in boxing competitions?
At local competitions, you can start competing by the age of 10 years old. And then you go up from sub-juniors to juniors, that's 16 to 17. Then 17, you have the sub-juniors from 10 years old up. Then the juniors, which would be 15 to 16. And 17 to 18 are the youths. Then elite to age 40 are the elites. So yes, you have that massive 30-year gap.
What is your go-to hype song on your match days?
My hype songs are so. My hype songs are so. They're so chill. I love listening to Cleo Soul. She has very enlightening lyrics. Yeah. So I like Neo Soul, Lauryn Hill, just to calm me down, keep me in that peaceful state.
What's your all-time female athlete that you look up to?
Mary Kom. She was India's top amateur boxer. And what was amazing was she won medals at the Olympics. She had babies. She had a family, and then she came back and just completely dominated the amateur boxing sport. So I'd love to talk to her and just pick out her resilience and pick out her resilience and passion for the amateur boxing sport.
Is there any upcoming tournaments coming up that you're taking part in the near future?
My next big tournament that I'm aware of is the Com Games, which will be held in 10 months' time. Yeah. So I'm aiming to get a medal next year. So right now we're starting just cleaning up on technique, tactics, working on my S&C, weight management, and not forgetting my mental and spiritual prep. And yeah, looking forward for next year.
And that was a little chat with Jasmine Daunakamakama. I hope you were inspired by it, because I was as well. Join us next week with another episode of Women's Sports Center. I'm your host, Asinate Serevi. Thank you for joining us.